So not too much on me, okay? Keep all y'all "you crazy, couldn't have been me" comments to yourself, because you never know until you're in the situation. A year ago, I had a feeling that my husband was seeing somebody else. So like any good investigator, I grabbed his phone and I checked it. And my husband has two phones because he's an entrepreneur. He has an Android and an iPhone. The iPhone to a cheater is like gold. So many locks, so many different things. An Android to a cheater, is perfect for the person that's finding out that he's cheating. There's certain features on the Android that allow me step by step his location, everything that he was doing throughout the week and the day. So I seen this particular location in a section in Alany in Philly, where he was there every single day for 2 weeks. Granted, he told me he was going to work. Now, remember, I told you he's an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur too. I'm super busy. I'm taking care of my dad. He has cancer. I have children. I run a business. I have family. Like, my niece just had a baby. Like, my sister had a baby. Like, I'll be really busy. And I didn't have time to check over him. Like, if you say you're going to work, go to work. Like, make some money. Thanks. But
all right, first of all, before we get into this story time, I just want to say welcome back to the channel. Now listen, if you want to learn how to spy on your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend, whoever your partner is, then look no further than this video, because Inspector Gadget ain't got nothing on this lady right here. Now the measurements that she ended up going through just to find out that her husband was doing X, Y, and Z is crazy. I didn't even know these type of tools existed. So if you want to learn some little tricks and hacks on how to find out if your person is cheating on you, which me personally, I would just move on. I won't even have to worry about it. But if you just want to know, just to be for sure, then look no further than this video. Now for all my new people, all my new subscribers, welcome to Messy Family. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that way you never miss an upload for Messy Stories. But without further ado, let's get into the story time and let's see how she found out her husband was cheating on her.
just something wasn't right. Like, he had been spending a lot of time and I just didn't feel like I was getting no attention. The only attention I was getting would be late at night when he would come home like, "Oh babe, I missed you all day. Like, today was hard on me. It was real stressful," but didn't come home with no money. So he told me, "Oh, I'm going to my storage to go pick up some stuff." I said, "All right, cool." I'm wondering, is he going to go back to that location that I seen on his phone? Screenshot the location. Lo and behold, he's at that location. How do I know, you ask? Well, I was on the phone with him. He stays on the phone with me while he's in the car. And when he gets out the car, he's like, "Oh, babe, I'm at my job. I'll call you back when I'm done." That's how he does it. So I don't talk to him for like 2 hours, then he calls. Then I don't talk to him for 2 hours, then he calls. So we keep in touch with each other all day, but it's brief conversations in between his dirt. So in my phone, I took the storage address into the address that he's been frequenting. I took the address and put it in my GPS to see how far apart it was from each other. It was 23 minutes. He stayed on the phone with me for exactly 23 minutes. I knew at that point he had reached his destination. So I get in my car and I drive to that destination. It took me 45 minutes to get there because we live like really far away from the city. But when I finally got there, I drive past and I see my husband on the porch with some chick. I park around the corner and I call him. I'm giving him one chance to if you just pick up the phone and you say, "Oh babe, I made a detour at a customer house," I will just drive off and go home and this will never have happened. He didn't answer. So I got out the car and I walked up. He said, "What you doing here?" Like an episode of Cheaters, a deer caught in the headlights, and she's just standing there looking stupid. I'm like, "Yo, you've been lying. You've been coming here." "Oh, this is such and such. I've been doing your floors, right? Like, the blower's in here. It's all these kids in there." And she's like, "Oh, the blower's in there." And I asked her. She's like, "Oh yeah, he was just doing my floors." But something just didn't seem right. But I couldn't prove it. As a matter of fact, I felt horrible because I felt like I embarrassed myself. This woman is telling me that nothing's going on. He's just doing my floors. He's been doing work here because I just moved here and my house really needs a lot of work. And he explained to me, like, "I know you don't like me doing odd jobs because my leg is bad, my hip is bad. I know you don't like me doing odd jobs for money, but I decided to take on lots of jobs at this one house." I'm like, "So why you just didn't tell me? Why you been saying you at other places?" He was like, "No, I never told you. I just said I was at work." He won that round. So a couple of weeks later, I just couldn't get it off my mind. So I checked his phone when he thought that the smoke had died down a little bit. I checked his phone and saw these text messages from a text now. I look in the phone and I said, "Call me." This girl calls me from her real number. As a detective, again, I go to Cash App to see who the person is, because of course her number wasn't saved. Lo and behold, it's customer. So I look to see how many times he talks to customer, and he talks to customer all the time. FaceTime with customer, even saying all these different things to customer. So after I found out all of that, he tried to lie. He was in the doghouse for a couple of weeks, and then, you know what, I just forgot about it. I think I kicked him out. He slept somewhere else for a little while. Fast forward a year later, which was the day before yesterday, I'm at work and this girl calls my work phone from a text. All right, so back to story.
Listen, messy family, before we get into this, let's just all come to some conclusions right now. Do y'all think that this man been cheating with that woman? Or do you feel like he just working? Because a year has passed at this point. And if he was cheating, this is a hell of a cheating scandal, because he got away with it longer than normal. Like, she was on track and then she just said forget it, I guess. And then a year later, this is crazy. What do you guys think? Y'all think he cheating or y'all think he just working? Let's just make some assumptions right now in the video.
Time. So before I get to the part where she called me from a text-free number at work, I forgot to tell y'all about the part where I found out she was back in the picture. That's a very important part. I'm gonna give y'all some tips. I'm hoping that y'all been not cheating, but judging by those comments, a lot of y'all are going through the same thing. So here's some tips if you don't want to leave, if you just want to find out and you really need proof, then I got you. And I also know that y'all want longer videos. I don't know if I'm gonna do a 10-minute video, but I do realize that the videos are kind of short. I honestly can't believe I'm about to admit this, but I am all in and I want to tell y'all every single thing that happened. So I had that same feeling that I had from last year, that something just wasn't right. My husband was spending more time out of the house. He was flipping his phone over. He was starting fake arguments just so he can go away for long hours at a time, staying out long hours at a time, not communicating. It was just a lot happening, and you could just feel, like, you just get that feeling that something's not right. Spending a long time in the car on the phone, hurrying up and getting off the phone when I come around, talking on the phone in code, stuff like that. So I decided to figure out what's going on. So Friday, it was time for me to pick up my daughter from work. So I said, all right, babe, I'm about to go get her from work, and I'll see you when I get back. So before I left, I called my work phone from my personal phone, put it on speaker, then put it on my desk and put my personal phone on mute. Then I put my AirPod in and put the phone in my purse. So I could hear everything that was going on in my room, even though I wasn't there. Now, I know y'all thinking that's a lot. It really was a lot. And now that I'm thinking about all the stuff that I had to do to find out somebody was cheating on me, it's crazy, especially when I already knew. But we here, and I already did it. It's already done. It's already over with. Now, just a sidebar, if you don't have two phones and you in the same boat as me, you might want to take your AirPod, put that in, put your phone on live mode, and listen in if you got to. So all I hear is him arguing with somebody, saying, you insulting my intelligence, and he's arguing with whoever this is on the phone. It sounds like it's probably a woman on the other end because of the things that he was saying. Oh, so you not messing with me no more? So it's like that? So that's how you going to do it? Whatever like that. Then he hangs up the phone on her and then calls me on my other line. So I click on the other line like everything cool. I say, hey. He said, oh, hey, babe, I'm really trying to get some stuff together. It was like Jekyll and Hyde. Like, I literally just heard you arguing with somebody in my ear. And then you call me on my other line and code switch into a soft teddy bear. This is how I know that you have serious issues, for real. I was so annoyed by what I just heard, so I wasn't really normal. So I just said, she about to get in the car, so I'm going to just see you when I get home. He said, all right, babe, love you. I'll see you when you get here. And guess what he did? Called that number back. I guess whoever it was that he hung up on, he had some unfinished business that he wanted to say. This time he goes on to say, well, if that's what you want to do, if that's what you feel like you need to do, all right, well, block me then. You can't be serious and whatever. He still was talking with a lot of bass in his voice. So you would have thought I finally got the proof that I needed. But no, I don't know who he was talking to. I don't know what he was talking about. It could have been anybody that he was talking to. I needed more. So I went on his Instagram, and just to see who was following him, and the same woman that he told me that he wasn't talking to from last year randomly started following him on Instagram. So I asked him, hey, are you still talking to this female? He says, oh, why you asked me that? Oh, I had called her when you left just so I can see if her son wanted to work with me. So I just said, all right, whatever, and just went to bed real mad. Now we get into the text-free number. The next day was Saturday. I go to work like normal. We had a lot of parties that were booked. Everything was cool. I'm sitting in my office and I get this call on my work phone. So I answered it. Hello, thank you for calling Sugar and Spice Kitties, blah, 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 blah. Somebody on the other line says, Leash? Is this Leash? Is this Leash? And she just kept saying, is this Leash? But her phone was acting weird and it was kind of breaking up a little bit. So the first thing is in my mind is that we were just talking about this girl last night and she just called me because she's playing on my phone. So I called the number back. It was a text now number. Oh, the number you reached is not reachable, whatever. I texted, it turned green, and I realized that it was a fake number. So I called her and said, hey, did you just call me? She said, I didn't call you. Who is this? Who is this? I didn't call you. I said, you just called my work phone. And she said, no, I didn't call your work phone. And I'm like, you just called my work phone. But whatever. If you're saying you didn't call my work phone, then have a great day. I apologize. So my store manager walks into my office. We're talking about some work-related stuff, and my phone rings again. I say, yeah, hello, thank you for calling Sugar and Spice. And the girl's like, Leash, like, hello. And I'm like, yes, I knew that was you that called me. I didn't just call you. So one, why are you calling me Leash? First of all, you don't know me like that. And only my friends and family call me Leash. So you're not neither. So she says, no, I didn't call you. But what makes you think that it's okay for you to call me? And I said, excuse me? I said, so that wasn't you that just called me from a text-free number? And she says, oh, no, that was not me. I don't even have one of those. Baby girl, you do. Because that's how you're texting my husband, off of text-free numbers. He's texting you off them. You're texting him off of them. So come on. So I excuse myself from my office and go back into my stock room. And at that point, I start asking her questions like, look, I don't know what's going on here, but can you just tell me what the heck is going on with you and my husband and why he was arguing with you last night? Because I'm pretty sure that was you on the phone. She tries to play all dumb, like she don't know what argument I'm talking about. I said, he wasn't yelling at you last night and told you that you was insulting his intelligence? She says, oh yeah, that was me on the phone, but I don't know what you really looking for. I don't know what you looking for. I said, I just want answers. She says, well, the answer is we sharing him. He both ours. Then I proceed to ask her, so what you mean by we sharing him and he both ours? So you're admitting, so last year when I asked your nut self on the steps, you try to tell me he was just doing your floors. Now he doing more than your floors, huh? Listen, it don't even matter. It don't even matter. You're not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. It don't matter what I say. You're not going to go nowhere. You've been with him all this time, and me too.
Operation Takeover. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Messy family, what do y'all think? I believe the girl now is calling the wife because she's trying to get her out of that position. She's tired of her just sitting there. You heard what she said. She's never going to leave him anyways. I don't know what's going on with Buddy, but he clearly got something going right. That he got a wife right here that's like delusional to the sense she just let him do what he want to do, and she knows something's different, but she's not acting on it as strong as she should. I feel like the other girl just got very impatient with this woman. She wants you to leave your husband so she can be with your husband full time. He cheated on a whole wife. He gonna cheat on that girlfriend. Trust and believe. What do y'all think? Y'all feel like she just trying to take over? Let me know in the comment section, but let's keep watching.
Sharing him at this point, he both are ours. I remember everything I seen when I went to her house. And I said, you know what? This conversation is beneath me. This whole situation is beneath me. I said, you have a good day. But even though it was beneath me at the moment, I couldn't help but feeling crazy on the inside. So I immediately left out of work, got in my car, and y'all, your girl cried in the car. I think I was crying because, yes, she finally told me the truth. I finally got I finally don't feel like I'm crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy, but sometimes when somebody is manipulating and twisting the truth around, it makes you really feel like you're crazy. So I immediately called him. He didn't even answer. So I blew him up a little more. He like, oh, I'm doing somebody's floor. What's up? What's up? What's going on? Only thing I could think to say to him was, why you always gotta make me look stupid? You always gotta make me look dumb. The only thing that I kept screaming is, why you always have to make me look stupid? You gotta make me look stupid to everybody. Just embarrassing. Like, why do you feel like you always need to embarrass me? What are you talking about? What's going on? I said, she called me. She called me and said that we were sharing you and you both are ours. What are you talking about? I never touched that girl. Whatever. I hurried up and hung up. I went home. It was bothering me so bad because I didn't really get what I needed out of her. So I gave her a call. As soon as I got in the house, I started talking to her. We was on the phone for like 45 minutes. Seemed like she was a little weird the whole time, like not trying to tell me nothing, but trying to pop fly like, oh, you the wife. I said, so what was you going to do when he got his surgery? Like, was you going to come visit at our house? She like, no, well, you the wife. You the wife. You take care of all of that, and I'll be around when he get better. This is really all the stuff that she's saying to me, like, oh, you the wife, you do what you gotta do, I do what I gotta do, you get what you get, I get what I get. Gets my hair done, gets my nails done, like little high school stuff. Like, I'm looking for somebody that's gonna help pay bills, not to get hair, nails, and pedicures. Like, I don't care about none of that. So then this is where everything changes. She went from being here to, oh, he's about to walk in this door. I said, you want to sit on the phone to hear what he have to say? So I had my AirPod in my ear and I put my phone in my pocket and I started talking to him. I was very upset. I'm asking him, like, why would you do this to me? I already talked to her. She said, we sharing you. You both are. I'm not talking to that dirty girl. I'm not talking to that girl. Oh my God. I just needed her son to do some work because he got cheap labor and this and that. And I would never do nothing. I never had sex with nobody else since we've been married. I swear. Like, he's saying all of this stuff. She heard all of that. And as soon as I got in my car, she said, can we meet? Oh, so you want to meet your girl now? Okay. All right. So when you want to meet? Oh, today. Oh, you want to meet today? Okay. All right. So I can drive into the city and be there in like 40 minutes. Where you want to meet at? So she says to me, you know where I live? And I said, I'm not coming to your house. So she said, it's a bank near my house. I said, well, the bank closed. Like, it's a little late. Don't you think the bank closed? She said, no, not to go in the bank. Like, we can talk at the bank. I said, but it's cold. It's wintertime. Like, I'm not standing outside talking to you. I mean, we can talk in my car. And she said, I'm not talking in your car. So I'm like, okay, so do you want to go to a restaurant? She was like, oh, well, the only restaurants around here is like Popeyes and like stuff like that. I'm like, well, we can meet like somewhere further and sit down and talk. And I'm like, you asked me to meet. Is it a reason why you acting all weird? She's like, oh, well, your husband said that you be doing a lot of recording. I'm like, so you think I'm going to record you? For what? She's like, yeah, so when we meet, can it not be no devices? Like, can we put our devices away? Because I don't want to be recorded. I'm not trying to be in the middle of this. I'm like, you kind of are in the middle of this, but I understand what you're saying. Whatever. I just wanted to hurry up and meet. So we had agreed to meet at this restaurant called Panda Express. When I got there, she wasn't there yet. I got there, I texted her. She said, I'm pulling up now. So I'm like, all right, cool. I get out the car. I go inside the restaurant. I just walk right in and just sit at a table. I waited for a couple of minutes and she walks in. She still seemed like she was a little offish or weird. So we just sit down and she said, all right, can we just put our phones away? Like, we're going to put our phones over here on this table over here, our AirPods, watches, everything, which was kind of crazy because you're the one sleeping with my husband, but yet you're the one afraid to get recorded just by saying something and afraid that I might take it back to him. I'm confused. Are you the wife or am I? So she basically asked me, okay, so what do you want to know? First of all, if y'all remember, she's the one that said she wanted to meet. I agreed because I did want to talk, but she's sitting back like, okay, what do you want to ask me? I wasn't trying to ask you anything. I was hoping that you would come here and just give me all the tea. That's all I really want. So I just started asking her questions. And the first question that came to my mind is point blank, did you sleep with my husband? She said yes. Yes, we've been sleeping with each other for a year. It felt like a punch, but I kept my cool. And I finally got the answer that I was looking for. She looked me in my eyes and told me, yes, I'm sleeping with your husband. So I asked her, so when I came there last year and y'all both said that you was a customer, were y'all really sleeping with each other? She said, yes. As a matter of fact, we had just got finished arguing when you walked up. And I said, arguing for what? And she says, by that time, we had already been talking for about 3 months. And I just was asking him, when was he going to leave? Because I'm already separated from my husband. Your husband? Yes, y'all. Customer is married. She basically said she didn't care nothing about her husband. They was already separated. He was a dog. He did his dirt. She left him. So you found a new one? I asked her how they met. She said that he did do her floors. She was a customer, which we already knew about that. She was a customer and she was going through a separation and had kids and, you know, they talked and kind of hit it off. She said that he had expressed that he was going through a separation as well, which is not true. But that's what they told each other, and they kind of just went from there. I asked her if they used protection. She said no. Of course, my stomach started hurting so bad. I just felt like I wanted to ball up, but I really couldn't. I asked her where was they sleeping with each other at? Have she ever been to my house? She said no. I said, do you know where I live at? She was like, no, but I know where your business is. I also asked her, so what do you get out of the relationship? She said, well, he got me a lot of things, just cash apping me money or giving me money in person for my hair and my nails and pedicures and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, the real question, did he ever pay any of your bills? Did he ever, and she was just like, no, like nothing like that, because I never really asked him to do nothing like that, but just whatever I needed. If I asked him for money, of course, he was right there and gave it to me, which was a shock to me because I'm the sole breadwinner in my house right now. So I was kind of taken aback by the fact that this woman can get whatever she wants and I can't even get no help. At this moment, I'm extremely pissed, but I continue to fight through it. I'm trying to ask her more and more questions. I'm asking her for receipts. I'm like, do you have text messages, phone calls, anything like that? When I seen these text messages, y'all, it took everything in me not to just, Text messages from my husband to her was like, hey babe, I love you so much, I miss you so much. And she's like, oh my God, I miss you so much, I wish you were inside of me, I miss you being inside of me, I need you, I need to talk to you. He's sending her long paragraphs, encouraging text messages. Now this is where he's good at. He didn't never text her from his real number. They both had text apps, but you can tell that it was him. I knew it was him. Like the dates added up. Like he would start an argument with me and then he would say, all right, are we still on for tonight? And they would go to a hotel for 4 hours and then he would come back home and then be at home with me. Now, mind you, he told me that he haven't talked to her in a long time. She was an old customer and he was kind of working with her son. But why did I see call logs? He called her on Valentine's Day. I asked her, did he get her anything for Valentine's Day? She said no. Like a lot of the stuff, it just seemed like it was childish. But just the fact that all of these text messages, why are you telling a side chick that you love her so much and you just didn't use protection? That's the number one thing. You going raw? But at this point, the only thing I can think about is my health. My husband is having unprotected sex with this random woman who has a husband who could be dipping back with her husband. Who knows who he with? So I continue to ask her more questions and I notice that she starts becoming real comfortable and starts asking me questions. She said he never has his ring on when he's with her. So I was like, all right, well, let me show you pictures of him with his ring on. I told her when our anniversary was. It's in November. And she said, oh, I already talked to him about that. He said y'all didn't do anything. Lo and behold, I showed her all the stuff that we did for our anniversary. We went candle making. We went out to dinner. He had this beautiful hotel set up with all these rose petals. It was so beautiful. She was like, oh, wow, I really didn't know that. She said, can you tell me about your trip to Mexico? I said, yes. I helped him along with his sister to get his passport and took him to Mexico for his birthday, his 40th birthday. She said, yeah, well, he said that, it was a surprise and he didn't know nothing about it and he didn't really want to go. He just wanted to be with me. So I showed her all of the pictures. He had his ring on. He seemed really happy. I mean, judging by the pictures, we were making love every day. So I'm not really sure where that came from. When we came home, and then on my birthday in September, we went to Jamaica. He told her, oh, he had to go to Jamaica for somebody's wedding. I said, somebody's wedding? I said, he took me to Jamaica for my birthday.
I know I'm probably feeling like, oh, he manipulated the mistress. But she had the right there. Mistress, I would have been on her side all the way up until the wife met her a year ago. Once the wife was in your face and she asked you verbatim, hey, are you sleeping with my husband? And you decided to lie, I'm no longer on your side. You just as guilty as him. I wanted to say, oh, he manipulated her and X, Y, and Z, but we got to take it back to the fact that you actually met the wife and you lied to her face, and then you continue to sleep with her husband for a whole year straight. So we can't even give you a pass. I don't feel bad for this girl either. I want to say she was being used and she manipulated. Yes, in the beginning, yes, he did manipulate her. He saw a fragile woman who just got out of a divorce, who was broken with kids, and here he is, a man in her house, fixing things and doing things that her husband probably was doing before he even got there, right? So of course she's gonna be like, I get it, I understand. Before she even knew, he was taking his ring off, all type of shit. So she was innocent in the beginning. But once you realize he had a wife, you're no longer innocent in my eyes. What do you think, Messy Family? Do you feel like that's a good... But what do you think, Messy Family? Let me know in the comment section. Do you feel like I'm on point with that, or do you feel like he was the manipulator, she was not in the wrong at all, whatever the case may be? I'm going to say they both wrong, but she just as equally as wrong as him once she met the wife. That's what I'm going to say. But let's continue to see if she ended up standing on business with her husband. I show her, the bed where it's a happy birthday with the rose petals, the romantic dinner on the beach. He was wearing his ring. We were, really happy around that time. Everything was great.
These are the things that she didn't know. Me showing her family photos, me showing her pictures with him with his ring on, pictures of him being happy, pictures of him in the kitchen cooking. This is the person that I thought, was not, having an affair. She got upset and just said, oh my God, like, he's a liar. So I asked her, I'm like, well, did y'all ever get dressed up? Did he take you to any restaurants? She said, no, we went to like Popeyes and like just fast food, like Jamaican food and chicken and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, so did y'all ever go out on any dates? So she said, yeah, well, he did take me to the race car track and we did certain things like, little things like that, but nothing much. We ended up talking in the restaurant for 4 hours. I mean, we talked about so much. Like, at the end of the day, she's a woman. She's a married woman, it just so happens. But a woman. So I'm not going to be sitting on here bashing her, like, whatever. Like, of course, I sent a couple of pictures over to my group text and they roasted her to no end. But I'm not about to do that on the internet. I mean, because at the end of the day, I married him. I didn't marry her. I had vows with him, not her. So she was just collateral damage. So 10:30 rolls around. I said, all right, well, I'll walk you to your car because the restaurant's closing or whatever. She said, oh no, I called my Lyft. It'll be here. I said, you don't drive? Like, you don't have no car? She was like, no. And I'm like, okay, enough is enough here. Like, I'm not bashing nobody for not having a car and not driving. I don't know what people's situation is, but when I really think about my husband, when I really think about him, when I think about the time that he wasted on a whole nother woman and her children, he could have been trying to get some money, or he could have been spending time with our children, making memories. All of the time he split in half and wasted with a whole nother person and a whole nother family, and all the gas money he used and time that he spent driving over there. Like, all of the time that you can't get back, that's the part that bothers me so much. Like, you did all of this, and for what? What are you gaining? You're gaining nothing. But I tell you what, you sure did lose a lot. You lost a lot. You lost a family. You lost a good person. When you didn't have nothing, I was always there for you. Always trying to cheer you on. Always trying to make you feel better. Even when I felt like I was small, or when I felt like I was depressed, or when I felt like I wasn't good enough. I always try to make you feel like you was good enough. Always. And I couldn't do nothing for you. It's not my fault. You just had to go out there and make yourself feel better by talking to somebody who you felt like you could control, or who was validating you. I couldn't do nothing for that. I have to really get that in my head. So anyway, I get in the car. I go ahead and take a little ride. Of course, I called my sister, told her everything. She was like, oh my God, like, come here. Like, you don't even have to go home. I was going to go there, but you know what? I said, let me go home. Let me go home. I got something I need to get off my chest. So I went home. So I'm on my way home, and as I'm driving home, all I could think about was the whole conversation that I just had with this girl for 4 hours. I felt sick to my stomach, and after all of that, the only thing I wanted was for my husband to just apologize. I wanted him to apologize and not only see my pain, but feel it. I wanted him to feel my pain. So I get in front of my door, my husband's waiting in the driveway, and as I'm pulling in behind him, he's like trying to back out. So I just pull over to the side. So as he pulls out the driveway, he kind of sees me, and I'm flagging him down like, roll your window down. He rolls his window down, and it looked like he had an attitude. Now, mind you, he didn't know where I was because I didn't tell him. He was trying to call me while I was there, but I wasn't answering the phone. So I asked him what his problem was, and he said, I've been blowing you up and you wasn't answering. Yo, like, I'm out. I said, I really need to talk to you. He's like, for what? And I'm like, I really, really need to talk to you. I said, I didn't want to go in the house. I said, let's go to Wawa. We live near several Wawas, so he just followed me over to the Wawa. Pulling the Wawa, he gets out of his car and gets over into mine. As soon as he gets in the car and I look at him, like, all of these emotions just come over me, and I broke down and start crying real bad. The only thing I could really say to him is, why didn't you tell me? Or I just didn't know that you hated me this much. You have to hate me. After having a 4-hour conversation with a woman and reading text messages about all the things that they've been doing, you have to hate me. There's no other explanation for what I just seen. I didn't say that. That's just how I felt, because at this moment, he didn't even know we met. He just kept asking, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I just kept crying like, I didn't know you hated me this much. And it's okay. It's okay. Like, you don't have to explain anything. I said, I know everything. He said, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. Like, he started getting all hyper. And I know that when I try to tell him something and he starts getting hyper and his voice starts elevating, that means that he's about to say a bunch of lies and he's about to do his grand exit. And sure enough, as I'm trying to talk to him and tell him I know everything, he's telling me I'm lying and none of this is true. So whatever, he starts yelling and just gets out the car and slams the door. I know exactly what he did. He got in that car and he blew that girl up. I know he did. He grabbed his phone as soon as he got in the car. And as I drove off, I started beeping my horn saying, cheater! I went home and went into my room and I'm pacing back and forth, pacing back and forth, pacing back and forth. As I'm pacing, I'm like crying, then I'm mad. Then I start walking, then I sit, then I stand, then I'm walking, then I'm pacing again. As I'm in the middle of pacing, I hear my dog barking. And when my dog starts barking, that means somebody is at the door. I knew exactly who was at the door. Next thing you know, he's coming in my room. He has the nerve to come in my room and grab his slippers, takes off his shoes and proceeds to put on his slippers. It took everything in me not to knock his head off. But I keep everything cool because in my head, I don't even have no tussle in me. Like, the old me would have just tussled and start.
And that's how you know that you're done with the whole relationship. If you get to a point where your husband is cheating on you and you don't even have the energy to argue and fight, she was very patient. She waited till she got the whole thing to really call him out on it because she know who she's dealing with. When you're dealing with a narcissist, y'all, this is how you deal with a person like this. You gotta have all the proof. You gotta have video proof. You gotta have witness statements. You gotta have everything when you're talking to a narcissist, being real with you. And that's exactly what she did. Her patience is the reason why she was able to have peace in this moment. Because so she waited another year, just building up more and more ammunition against him, till she finally got enough. Like, this is how you over somebody. It's a wrap. I'm happy to see that she's standing on business.
Arguing and doinking, and I don't even have nothing in me. All I know is everything I just heard for the last 4 hours is all I ever needed to know that I will never be happy with this man ever again in life. So I let him walk out the room. Because, you know, my children were in the living room. They were playing their game. Everybody was happy. My dad was resting in his room. Like, I'm not trying to cause a scene. My whole family is home at this point. 5 minutes later, this man walks back in my room. And I wasn't feeling so kind this time. Because at this point, I want to know, look, you already got your slippers. Why are you back in my room? He's talking about he had to use the bathroom. I said, use the kids' bathroom. He said, I would use the kids' bathroom, but one of the kids are in it. And I say to him, well, you need to go wait for it to be free because you're not using this bathroom. And he's talking about if you would have asked me nicely to get out, I probably would have listened to you. But now I'm just going to sit here and wait for you to move from in front of the bathroom. I feel the heat rising. Suddenly, I feel like I want to tussle. So he sits there and I open up the closet. I walk in and I start taking all his clothes and dropping them on the floor one by one and then talking about all the things I seen and those text messages from that woman I just came from dinner with. I forgot to tell y'all that I seen a particular nickname in this girl's phone, so they call each other Moto. I don't know what that means. I'm like, well, what does this mean? And she was like, oh, it's just a name. Like, he says Moto, I say Moto. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So he's no longer my husband because, I mean, that's almost over. But he's Moto. Yep, new nickname, Moto. Moto and customer. Perfect for each other. Anyway, he jumps up, walks in the closet, and starts like grabbing his stuff and then tries to grab my stuff. I said, if you grab my stuff, I'ma scream. I told him, I don't really know why you don't want me to take your stuff off the hanger and take it out the closet because, I mean, don't you need help when you packing? Because you're not going to be here no more. He looked at me and said, what? Like, you kicking me out? Then for some reason, I just became real emotional and I walked in the bathroom and locked the door and stayed in there for a while. I really was in the bathroom having a pep talk with myself. Like, what are you doing? Like, you already got all the proof. You standing here throwing clothes on the floor, acting like a kid. Like, you're better than this. Like, all you need to do is just go about your business and let this play out how it's going to play out because you got the rest of your life to be free. So I came out the bathroom, walked over to my bed, and then he walks into the bathroom as if I just moved for him. Went to the bathroom, then he gets up, puts his shoes on, and then he leaves out the house. He didn't try to come back. And in all honesty, I know he was just away talking to that girl all night long. I just had a feeling. Because even though she tried to act like she was mad and she was never talking to him again, there was still a little bit of uncertainty in her voice. I didn't really get any sleep that night, but I still managed to get up in the morning, get all the kids off for school, made sure my dad was good, and then I left out and took a drive to my mom's. As I'm on my way to my mom's house the next day, I get this overwhelming feeling of like anger. And I just wanted to know, like, did she just play me or did he play me? For some reason, I still was acting stupid. I called him, and don't you know I was blocked? When I finally got through by calling private, I said, "Did you block me?" He said, "Yeah, I thought you was going to block me, so I just beat you to it." So even still, you a grown man. You just found out that your wife was sitting at a dinner with your mistress for 4 hours, and all you do is just block me? You don't want to apologize? Instead of him apologizing, you know what he said to me? Do you know what he had the nerve to say to me? He had the nerve to say to me to stop using my imagination and I'm making this whole thing up. Then proceeds to say, I'm making it up because I don't want to be with him anymore. And if I didn't want to be with him, all I had to do was say so. But then let me tell y'all, in the same breath, he contradicts himself and said, "Oh, well, you ran into her? Or was this whole thing planned?" I said, "Yes, it was planned. You think I just ran into her at the Panda Express?" Then he starts gaslighting me and twisting around all my words very strategically. If I said I need you to apologize, he said, "For what? What did I do?" I said, "For sleeping with another woman." He says, "What woman?" I say her name. He says, "Who's that?" I say we met at dinner and she showed me all these text messages and he said, "I don't know what you're talking about. It sounds like something you made up in your head." Then he starts asking me questions without answering the questions that I already asked him. Like, "So tell me the story again. So you called one of my customers?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" But remember I said that he told me I was making everything up. Then he starts saying, "Yeah, I already heard the recording. It seems like you were bashing me at dinner." Remember I told y'all a long time ago that me and customer agreed that we wouldn't even record each other. We put our phones on another table. We didn't even record each other. So him telling me that there was a recording is him trying to pin us against each other. But I didn't catch it. So I start getting extremely mad and I hang up on him and I call her. I said, "Yo, are you running some kind of game? You told me that we wasn't recording each other and yet there's a recording." She said, "Well, I was told that you was recording me and that I need to stop talking to you and I'm going to have to block you." At that very moment, I knew that she was staying and I had to exit. I said, "You know what? This whole thing is crazy. I feel like I'm going crazy. All of this back and forth, all of this twisting everything around is really driving me insane." And if you ever dealt with anybody who likes to gaslight people, if you ever dealt with anybody who likes to twist words around and twist questions around and ask you a question without answering your question, then you know how frustrating and confusing this could be. Imagine dealing with somebody like this for years. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I got off the phone and I screamed so loud. And I felt like that scream was me releasing all types of negative energy out of my body, I swear. Because when I got done screaming, I thought that I was going to drive all the way back home without going into my mom's house. But then I just decided, yo, I can't let this stop my life. This was the last straw for me. And I made it up in my mind that I will never, ever, ever talk to this man again. The audacity to hurt somebody who did nothing but care and love you. Hurt somebody like that to the core. Have them find out and you still don't have the balls to just apologize and admit to what you did. You want to hurt her even more. Twist the knife. So at that moment, I go into my mom's house, tell her the story. She's really upset. By the end of the night, I end up going home. And on my way home, I posted that video. Because I knew if I finally shared this with the world, my truth, there was no coming back from this. No coming back from this. It's not something I can just delete and everybody will forget about it. No, I told my mother, I told my father. I've never told my father anything negative about my husband. Never. I told my brothers. I told my cousins. I told my best friends who I knew I couldn't come back from that. I told TikTok. I knew that if I told everybody, there was no coming back from this. I would be forced to leave this man alone. I don't care what nobody has to say. I don't care how anybody thinks that they're looking at me crazy because I'm putting all this on the internet. I don't care. It's been helping me for the last couple of days get over something that was extremely tough for me. It's actually giving me a second win, making me feel like I have a voice and making me feel like I can talk to other women about something that's cliche. You feel like you don't want to tell other people that you got cheated on? By judging by the comments, it looks like it happens to everybody. And I'm not even going to say it's happening to everybody because I do believe in my heart that there are good men out there. But just like there are good men out there, there are also some bad men out there. I had no intentions on doing any of this. I was just so angry, and I basically rage posted. By the next day, I had woke up and the video had started going viral. Someone asked me for a story time, and I said, why not? I should share my story. And that's when he came into my house and told me that if I didn't take it down, he was going to start leaving all these negative reviews on my business page, threatening me, saying that he was going to do things to me every single day for 30 days and 30 nights, whatever that means. So my mom and my sisters got together and they stayed at my house. They kept me company. They made me laugh. My mom cooked. She made dinner for my dad, gave him his medicine, and I just was trying to rest. I've been trying to get myself together. I went to the doctor, got myself checked out. Thank God everything was okay. Talked to a lawyer. Hopefully that'll all be situated soon. And now I'm going to begin the rest of my life starting today. Listen, if you know somebody with a strong, beautiful light, and you see that there's somebody in their life, whether it's man or woman, that's tearing them down and dimming their light, you need to pull them to the side and have a talk with them. And for the people who think they know the real motto, but never stepped a foot in our house, never laid in our bed, never been in between our conversations, mind your business. There's always 3 sides to a story: his, mine, and the truth. This is my last part. I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope you guys learn not to judge. I hope you guys learn that just because someone's telling their story on an open platform, that they're not clout chasing. What if they just want to tell their side of the story and air someone out because no one else will ever believe them, because this person portrays themselves as a king when he's really just a pawn? The divorce journey begins.
All right, messy family. Now, that was some mess. That was a lot to unravel. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I respect her for standing on business, because at the end of the day, a narcissist is going to do what a narcissist is going to do, and we got to start calling it out like it is. If you're going to keep on answering my questions with another questions and then how he pinned them against each other, I just say, listen, let the girl be with him. Let misery, listen, one thing about life is that misery does love company. So let them go be miserable together. She just left a miserable life and want to be miserable with your ex-husband now. Let them be miserable. Nothing good comes out of that. We know this. We adults. That's kid shit. Thinking you're going to get better, the grass is greener over there. How you get them is how you lose them every time. It doesn't matter. She probably was cheating on her husband before that. That's why he cheated on her. We don't know the whole story. People going to give you just what they want you to hear. Not the storyteller. I'm talking about the mistress. The mistress probably was cheating on her husband, and he was cheating on her, whatever the case may be. They probably had an open marriage. And she saw opportunity to take another man who she didn't know at the time maybe was married, but then when she found out he was married, now she's an accomplice. So let them two go be miserable together. That's how I feel about this messy family. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. And I should be dropping another video later today. So I'll see you guys later in the next video. But let me know what you guys think. Messy family, peace.